Hello, welcome back to Average Gamer Plays Factorio. As you can see, I'm back in my sandpit world on an extremely blank screen. Let's just open up the map and see where I am in relation to where I want to be. It's been a few days since I've looked at this. Right, I was having some trouble fitting everything into the grid. Trying to put two smelting arrays into the grid together with trains loading and unloading, and it wasn't fitting. So I brought it all back into this sandpit world to play around with. So what I've decided to do is to separate out. I was trying to merge together the ore smelting and the steel smelting so that I could reuse a row of beacons, and because I did that, I didn't have enough room to fit the train stations in. The trains were overlapping. I didn't like the way it looked at all, so I thought I'd come into here, start again from scratch, and see what I could come up with. So this is an ore smelting array. I'm not sure actually if it's ore or if it's steel, to be honest with you. I'll have to double check the way it looks, but still. So I thought I'd put the array down in the middle. This is 8 rows. I've got an 8x8 balancer on the input, an 8x8 balancer on the output, and I've got a train station coming in to drop off the ore and a train station to take away the plates. And I've also decided to put a stacker on it because it's much better to have a stacker and not need it than not have a stacker and then find that you haven't got the space. To put one back in. So I looked at that and thought, okay, well, one thing that's obvious from this is that it's not so much the factories that take up all the space, it's the trains. So I thought, well, could we take some advantage and make some use of the space at the top and the bottom and just sort of rotate these stackers around a little bit so that it's more of a top to bottom design instead of a left to right, and it's not quite so wide. So that's what I did with this version here, and I thought, yeah, okay, that sort of still looks okay. The trains come in at the top here and go out at the bottom, and then come in at the bottom here and go out at the top there. But then I thought, well, I've got to try and work out how to link this into the rails going around the outside on the octagon and whatever. And I didn't really like the way that the train stations weren't lined up. They weren't symmetrical. But, I mean, it works. And then I realised, hang on a minute, we've got 8 wagons coming in full of ores and 8 rows of smelters. So why do we need the balancer at all? Can't we just take one wagon into one row, output into one wagon? So I came up with a third design, which is now a lot more symmetrical. The trains come in. Let me just put a power generator down on here just to stop everything. Just to stop everything blinking while I'm talking about it. And let's just do the same with these as well. The blinking was annoying. So I've gone back to using the stackers on the left and the right because I think that's a simpler option. I'll have to extend these lines. I don't yet know. It all depends on whether I put it into a square or an octagon on sort of where the actual inputs and outputs are, but I can figure that out when I put it down. So I've got a blueprint here. So the trains come in, they can park up in this stacker, they can go through to drop off the ores just come in, they go literally down the line through the smelters into the other the pickup wagon on the train over here. And I think this is pretty much, and it's only slightly off symmetrical because they're inputting on the bottom half of these smelters and the output is on the top half. So the inputs and outputs don't quite line up, but they do line up with the actual row of smelters and beacons. So these train stations are sort of opposite each other, and they're LTN train stations. And I've set up another mod called LTN Combinator, which actually just sort of makes it a lot easier to set up the values in these combinators for the LTN stations. So it just gives you an interface here where you can just type in the values of things that you want instead of doing it the old-fashioned way. So I'll be using that as another mod. I'll put that in the description below. I've got this as a smelting array complete with input and output and train stations and everything, and I've set up some blueprints for 8 beacon door smelting. I haven't yet done the complete one for 8 beaconed steel smelting. However, if I go into Rails, I've got have I put it into Rails? No, LTN stations. I've got different blueprints for whether we're loading or unloading and whether the stations are on the same side of the track or the opposite side of the track. So that's an unload station where the wagons unload onto the same side. Now I've seen some people do designs where they're, and certainly for factories with very, very large throughputs, and I may need to change this, where it actually unloads from both sides of the wagon at the same time. I'll have to see how I go, basically. But I may end up having to redesign the train station and the loading and unloading side of things. So I'll have another set of inserters and everything on the other side, and then we'll sort of filter it through. But we'll see how we work it all out. So I've got LTN stations. I've got the stacker going left to right, the stacker going right to left, which I can then rotate to do top to bottom if I decide I need to do that. And with those blueprints, the stations and the stackers, I can basically just put any kind of factory in the middle. So I can build everything up. I don't need to do a sort of complete steel smelting setup like this, because I've got the blueprints and the building blocks that I need to sort of put it in from scratch. So I know that I'm going to need a stacker, and then, you know, I've got the rails in from the octagons. I'll have to do a version of these for the diagonal rails. I'm sure I'll need those at some point, but I will start building something up, and I'm going to head back over to my main world now. So I'll start building something up, building block by building block and blueprint by blueprint, and we'll see what we can get put together. So I'll see you back in my main world in a moment. Right, so I'm back here in my main world. I'm going to have to dismantle all of this. So what I'm going to do is put down some storage chests, I think, and then just use my bots to take everything up. Right, let's have a look at my actual ore smelting complete setup on the blueprint and just see. Yeah, that is too wide to go into there, but it will fit into a square. Now, can I fit 2 of these? If I put one down there, let's just try this. Let's wander up to this square and see if let's turn off my roboport so that I just put this down as a blueprint. Beacon build, Right, let's just zoom out a little bit. So I can put that as low down as there, I think. And if I rotate it, I can put it as high up as there, because that will be fine. That's interesting. Okay. So let's do that. So I've got the ore smelting. Now I need to fit in rails in. So I need to go in into the stacker, but I need to come out from the main thing. So let's have a rails in over there. Rails in there. And a rails in down here somewhere. Still need to... Need to change those manually. Now, can I get... we need a rails out. Now, I need 2 rails outs, but can I get them to share the same one? Is that going to be practical? It won't take too long for the train to come from the station down onto here and then go elsewhere. It's not like one train is going to hold up the other one for too long, so I'll have a single rails out. And if I need to change that, take that power pole off in order to be able to do it, let's take these signals off as well. Rails out. That goes... Don't think it's going to be quite centralised whether I have it up there or down there, so I'll just do it down there. And that doesn't quite fit, does it? Okay, I'm going to have to do something a little bit funky here, I think, with the... I may have to go just sort of up a little bit. And then in there like that. Copy that. Flip it. Rotate it. And then do something with that, and I'll have some signals here. So the train will come on and it'll come out, and that'll go up and around, and that'll go down and around. And I'll just put some extra signals on here to make sure that they don't. So we'll have a signal there. Change signal there. I can't put it in until I put the rails actually in. I'll do that later. Now can I link this up with... I might have to do something like that. And because I don't think that will... Ooh. I've only got 3, right, okay. I should be able to put blueprints in there. So we'll have some kind of funky S-shaped thing here. So the trains will come in, they go up and around in here and then park in the stacker, and then they'll come down to the station, drop off the ores, and then I will have a similar thing. Let's copy all this. Let's let me just take off some of these items here, those down there, just so that I've got room to put the blueprint. So what I need to do is create a blueprint, which is just going to be a temporary one. Take off the station, take off all that, take off the signals and the power poles. Just do that and then rotate it. It's not quite centralized, is it? Okay, so we're going to have some slightly more... Okay, can't do that one. I can just rotate that one because it's fine. I don't need to flip it. So rails out. Let's take off those. Rails out. Oop. It's going to go down there. And then we'll just have rails in. Go over there somewhere. Back, let's do. Something like that, and then we'll get the rails in. Keep doing escape twice on that. Something like that, and then we'll have fills in there. Line that up again with power. Okay, so let's build this and see what it looks like. So I've now got two smelting arrays. Let's just take up these boxes. I can now turn on my robots. I'll now bring the Spidertron over here. Now all the stuff that I dumped in the chests is still a little bit lower down, so I will I haven't got let's just put don't need those, well, I need a few of those. And I'm trying to dump out stuff that I know we're not going to need for this build. I do have a fair amount of rubbish on me, don't I? Don't need any stone furnaces, don't need any mining drills. Don't need any wagons. Don't need any of those, or those. Right, let's the more I can get rid of and build, then the more I can pick up from the more I can pick up from the storage boxes that I just had down below. Can't quite pick up all of that, but that's fine. Now my let's turn those off because I need to recharge my robots. So let's just get Spideytron to come down here. Let me take a lot of my stuff and dump it onto the Spidertron. Let's take that off there, let's put that on there. Is that all we've got? Just one? Okay. It's taking a little while for my bots to recharge, isn't it? They're all fully powered. They're all fully powered, so it's just the bots inside them, I think, that are, or the batteries. Yeah, it's just this fusion reactor. Now, I'm wondering if it might be worthwhile getting rid of a couple of exoskeletons and putting on an extra fusion reactor. Because that is taking its time to recharge. Let me turn my bots back on for a little bit. I'm out of rails. Let's get Spidertron to come over there a little bit and see what he can build over that side. Of course, the Spidertron doesn't have any rails either. Okay. Does Spidertron have any stuff for this? He does. Spidertron to come down there and help with that. Right, let me just go down and pick up the rest of this stuff that I dumped. So I need a couple of rails for that, okay. So between us, hopefully, myself and the Spidertron should now have whatever we need to finish building this. Spidertron can go down there. Yeah, I'm out of power now. Right, let's get the rails building train to come all the way over there. Wow, that doesn't take long to use up 10,000 of those, did it? Right, so you can fly away. Right, let's get rid of all that, I think. And yeah, there was a missing power pole around here somewhere. And it was starting to annoy me. Okay. That is now connected to that. Right. What's next on the list? We need to start getting some trains running, I think. I need to do some nuclear fuel. I think that'll be the next thing on the list. So, right, station there for uranium-235 drop-off. I've still got some manufacturing. I don't know whether to keep this where is it? This station here going for the uranium-235. We're building up quite a fair amount of it. That's got 3,500 in the chest there. Or whether to just build another Kavarex setup and have it sort of fully beaconed and whatever over in the other base, because there's still plenty of uranium to mine. Or I can still bring in this train over the other direction. I mean, I'm only even, you know, not even mining the whole of that patch, so there's plenty of uranium around. I might bring it a little bit close. I don't need an awful lot of nuclear fuel for the trains because it lasts an awful long time. It really, really does. Let's get the Spidertron to head back to the mall, which is over there, because I want to play around a little bit with the number of maybe take out some of the exoskeletons and put some more fusion reactors in, because that way the bots will last longer. I think they'll recharge quicker. It's either I need more fusion reactors or I need more batteries. I'm not 100% sure which. But I will get some. Right. Let's update my to-do list. Right, done that. Add new. Right. Nuclear fuel for LTN trains. We want to have that'll do. Everything is still chugging along, and we'll carry on expanding the factory in the next episode. I'll see you next time.